This customer's had a change of heart where they first said, hell no, I'm not paying that to fix that. The car is back. They finally said, you know what, let's just do this. I'm tired of this car, let's fix it. Let's get started. This is a 2017 Volkswagen Passat with the 1.8 TSI engine. And although the engine's fine, it doesn't have any issues with that or the transmission or anything, this car's been here just recently and has some electrical drains and some other issues going on. Danielson did a quick check and found evidence that mice had been in and possibly chewing a lot of wires. We informed the customer, you know, this could get pretty deep pretty fast. If we have to start chasing, where did the rats or the mice go? How far did they go? How deep did they go? We could be pulling a lot of stuff apart to chase this down. It could be 200, 500, it could be $1,000 just figuring out what they've all done. And the customer said, nope, I'm out, forget it, I'll come get my car. That only lasted about 2 or 3 weeks, and the car's back. This time around, it has something wrong that may not be related to the mice, but the power steering just died. It has no more power steering. Also, it has some codes in there for some issues with the steering system. And Danielson did some checking. As you can see, there was a big battery drain on this, and we found it. But it took a whole day of going through modules, going through this, pulling fuses, trying to track all this down. We finally found it. Danielson was actually almost at his wit's end. He's like, I've pulled every fuse. It makes no difference. It has almost half an amp draw all the time. So, there's a lot of things going on here. We're going to kind of unpack that today. We did see mice damage. Luckily, we don't think they've damaged anything that has to do with what we have the problems today with the steering system. Before we dive into the battery drain, we have some updates on the 3 cars we had for sale. You guys remember we had a Shelby GT500 for sale. It's gone. We got our full asking price for that. It's been sold. It's gone. The Z3, you guys just saw a video on that. We actually traded it off for a Ram Charger. So those 2 are gone. But we still have 1 left to go, and it's the 1969 Citroen DS. Runs and drives, needs a little bit of tinkering here or there, but it really is in pretty good shape. Contact Crazy D in the office. We would like to get this thing moved. Let's make a deal. So, back to the Volkswagen. We get these kind of issues once or twice a month where there's a battery drain and they're like, I'm at my wit's end, I don't know what it is. Before you call your mechanic, there's a few things you can check at home or in your car. Do you have USB or type of charger plug-ins into, well, it's the aux port, but we remember older generations as a cigarette lighter. That's what it used to be. Do you have things plugged into that? Because I've seen a few cars where they've at their wit's end, you end up unplugging that and the drain goes away. Do you have a GPS or a camera system? Anything that you could have hooked into the car's battery system that's not factory could be draining it. Even car audio amps or a stereo deck or anything like that. Make sure to check those things first. Because if you bring it to a shop, it could be a 5-minute fix. It could take 5 hours of diagnosis like this one has. Also check for any lights that are being left on, like the dome light or headlights or something along those lines. It could be something very simple. Trust me, there's been a few instances where it was something so simple, like something plugged into the auxiliary port or a dome light that was switched to the on position and they weren't aware. I've actually had customers get very angry. They're like, that's all it was? It's like, bro, you could have checked that. Yes, there's a bill here because we spent some time scratching our heads and figuring out what's going on here, and half an hour later we're like, they left the dome light in the on position. You're going to pay for our time. If you don't want to pay it, do some checks yourself. You can save a lot of money. But this one is to the point where it needs a technician. It needs a car wizard. It needs a Danielson. It needs somebody to really know what they're doing with this vehicle. It came in with almost a half an amp draw all the time. Danielson charged the battery all the way up. It won't even make it through the day, maybe a day and a half, and it's flat dead again. We did all the basic checks, switches and dome lights and everything like that, and that wasn't it. Basically what you have to do is, I've showed this before in a video, you hook an amp meter between the positive terminal and the battery. You actually disconnect the terminal from the battery, and now the power runs from the battery to our amp meter, then to the car. So that way you can measure everything that's going into the car. So as you can see here, Danielson has, this is the battery terminal to the positive on the battery. It's not even hooked up. It is currently running through, this is basically a multimeter. It can also measure amps. It's set to amps. You can get these at Harbor Freight. You don't have to buy an expensive one like the Power Pro brand. But it can measure volts, it can measure amps, resistance, all kinds of different things. We have it set to measure amps going into the car. So power right now is going from the battery, which he has clamped this multimeter terminal. The power is going from the battery into this multimeter and back out to the car. So it's seeing all the power that's going through the car right now. This should be 0.050 or less on a happy car. And as you can see, almost 0.400. Sometimes it gets up to 490. It can be half an amp. Something is pulling power right now all the time. So how do you figure out what's pulling power? There's literally 30 modules on this car. There's wiring all over the place. Where could it be? The answer lies in the car's fuse boxes. Most cars have at least 2 fuse boxes. They have one in the interior for the interior items and one in the engine bay for the engine, transmission, lighting, and things of that nature. What you're going to do is get you a very small pair of pliers, and you, one by one, you don't pull all the fuses out. You one by one pull a fuse and put it back in. I'll demonstrate that. Now when you first hook this up, it's going to go like to 3 or 4 amps. Because you just woke up all the systems in the car. It will slowly, over about 10 or 15 minutes, go to sleep. And then it'll go down to what your current draw is happening, what's going on. So you watch the meter. Like I said, something's pulling over 1/4 of an amp, almost half an amp right now. So you go to a fuse, pull it out. Nothing happens. So it's not on that circuit. Pull another one. That did nothing. So it's not on that circuit. And basically you get the idea. One by one you have to go through every single fuse and monitor what's going on. Danielson's already did that to all of these fuses, all of these relays. Nothing out here in the engine bay is pulling the power. Let's head on into the interior. So just like in this picture right here, that's what the fuse box looks like under the dash. It's kind of hard to get in there and show you. It's kind of dark in here. Danielson went through and pulled all of those fuses. Again, this isn't something that happens in 2 or 3 minutes. You have to pull one and monitor any changes. Put it back in. Move on to the next one. There can be 100 fuses. It takes quite a lot of time. But we finally found what it was. I'll pull the fuse to that circuit and watch what happens to that meter. There it is. Whatever's on this circuit for this fuse you just pulled is the culprit. That is what's pulling the power and killing your battery and really pissing you off. So once you find that fuse, you need to get your owner's manual or look online, Google it, and find the fuse diagram that lists what every fuse does. You may find a fuse that says headlights, turn signals. You may find a fuse that does heated seats. But this fuse that we found is the actual power steering control module that's actually inside of the steering column, right behind the steering wheel. It's nothing to do with what we got going on with the loss of power steering. That's actually a separate issue. But the little module that sits behind the steering wheel actually is the brain for the power steering on this thing. It is pulling power all the time. Something internally, electrically, is wrong with that module. And that's what's killing this battery. Now, there's a second issue which caused this customer to for sure bring in their car. They're like, you know what? It is what it is. Charge me. I got to get this fixed. I literally have no power steering. The power steering is completely dead. So let's play the little game. What is causing this? Is it A, the power steering pump? Is it B, power steering fluid is low? Or is it C, the power steering rack is bad? Let you, in the comments, post what you think it is, and then we're going to talk about what it really is. Just like I just mentioned, there's a steering brain, a brain box there behind the steering wheel. That tells us one thing. This has power steering that has nothing to do with pumps and fluid. Which means all the answers I just gave you, it's none of those. The steering on this is full electric. There's a sensor behind the steering wheel. When you start to move the steering wheel, it senses it and electrically moves a motor in the steering rack. There's your power steering. So let me show you why the power steering failed. And it's really strange, and for those of you who really watch your pennies, it's going to piss you off. So let's take a look. So we're back at the same spot again in the engine power distribution box or fuse box, whatever you want to call it. But we're not on the same problem. The draw, the issue is in there with this behind the steering wheel, has nothing to do with what I'm about to show you. So don't get them confused. This is where technicians come into play. Imagine the circles you could be running in right now trying to figure all this out, pulling your hair out and throwing tools across the shop. This is where someone like Danielson comes into play, and they can figure it out without getting mad. There's a fuse here for this power steering rack, which, like I said, it's electric. There's no fluid, power steering pressure fluid or anything. This little line right here, this power line, it's a power wire, is the one that powers the rack. Danielson did his checks. He had power here, 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 and at this one, nothing. Dead. So he started checking all these fuses and seeing maybe there's a fuse for that particular circuit. And finally, he looked it up and said, oh, it's an entire bus of fuses. I'll take it apart and I'll show you what I mean. Alright guys, so I got all those lines unbolted and everything ready to pull out. This is a really strange fuse setup. There it is. It's a bunch of fuses basically tack welded together. So we think, okay, we blew a fuse. Most of us think, I'll go to the store and buy a pack of fuses. Or if it's a very high amp circuit, they make maxi fuses, the really large fuses on some vehicles. No, not on a Volkswagen. I was thinking 10, 20 bucks. It's so stupid. So these little black boxes are the individual fuses. You can't just replace just the one. Unless you want to get into welding and spending a bunch of time, shop time, which is an hourly rate, trying to rebuild this thing. This one's good. This one's good. This one is not. This is the power steering. It's blown. So I tried several places to find this. It's called a bus, basically. They range from 120 to 180 bucks, depending on where you want to buy them. So you blew a fuse. It could be 150 bucks just to replace a fuse. So now I'm going to tie all this together for you. We have a power steering control module that's failing. It's drawing power all the time. Something's wrong with it. And then separately, it's blown its fuse for the steering rack portion of the power steering, which is insanely stupid. The fix for this, like on Identifix, I use a lot of databases, is you put a new fuse bus in and you replace that module. Whatever has failed in the module, very likely when they were steering and turning, it gave improper readings or did something wrong, and it did something to blow the fuse on the steering rack. So you replace the control module that controls the power steering rack Luckily, we don't have to replace the rack itself. We do have to replace this bus. So we just did a whole video, and we didn't do an interior review. We didn't put it up in the air. We did all electronics. This is a massively electronic job. This is kind of the repairs that a lot of the old timers, they would throw in the towel. They would be like, this is insane. I just wasted hours chasing around all these modules and gizmos and gadgets. And I knew guys when I was a young mechanic that were older mechanics, and with small electrical problems, it wouldn't even be as severe as this one. They would get pissed. I mean, they would just throw their wrenches down. I remember one guy throwing his tools down and going to lunch early. He's like, I'm done. He used the F word, F this. Today's technicians are not just people who turn nuts and bolts and put an alternator or a starter on your car. You really need to know all the systems of the car, understand flow charts, understand wiring diagrams. It's very technical, hence the name technician. There's a difference between a technician and a mechanic. A mechanic will put a set of brakes on your car. A technician like Danielson will find out what the hell just happened to your power steering. And after I've just shown all of this, probably most of you would agree, oh hell no, I'm not doing all that. That is insane. And you can also imagine this isn't going to be a $40 bill. This is going to be, just to find the answer is probably $200 or $300. Just like in this scenario, which is nothing against this customer, I kind of been through that myself in different other facets of life. You get told it could be $200 or $300, $400 or possibly $1,000 just to find the answer. That doesn't fix it. Just to find the answer. And it's, oh, no, nope, count me out, I'm done. And I tell Crazy D in the office, every time this has happened, they'll be back. Because whatever's going on here is going to drive them so insane, they're going to be like, whatever, just do it. And they're back. The good thing is, this is not a massive teardown. I don't have to pull the whole front end off like the Volkswagen and Audis do. They like to do that. We just pull the steering wheel off, replace what's the clock spring, steering control module, all in one unit, put it back together, and put a fuse bus in. That's it. Their steering will be back. All the warning lights that have been really driving them insane will be gone. Hopefully, that's it. Because, like I said, we've seen mice damage in here. We're hoping that's it. That's the only errors that we have with the car. But we're just showing you today how insane it can get with electronics, that you can run in circles and circles for a long time if you don't know what you're doing. If you're curious what kind of tools we use to diagnose this car or work on any other cars in the shop, check our Amazon affiliate link in the description below. We get a small cut and really appreciate it if you purchase anything, kind of like that multimeter there. And make sure to hit the subscribe button, because we got many more cool videos to come. Thanks for watching.